have a quick update on Michael Bennett?
Michael Bennett, I'd put doubtful for this weekend. He retweaked his, that's a groin injury that it's frustrating for all of us that he should be back, and he re-injured it. So we'll know more later in the week, but he hasn't practiced much.
And Jordan Hall, is he?
He's out.
He's out?
Yeah, but he's getting closer.
Yeah. And Nathan Williams, is he looking okay?
Nathan Williams, he's okay. He was a little sore. It's a frustrating injury, so we're not going to be at full strength, but
It's like the third or fourth time I've asked this, but it'll be the last time, I swear. The Big Ten today said that you can win the Legends division. Leaders, excuse me, I mean Legends. Geez,
Come on,
Wow.
Anyway, you had said that you were concerned. You didn't know for sure what you might have later in the season. It's one thing that you will have playing for. You can play for a trophy or a title.
yeah, I don't even. That's the first I heard of something like that. So I'm not. We're 1-0, and we're not a very good team. We're average right now. We're playing a very good team that I think's equal at some positions. So that there's going to be zero conversation about that in our locker room.
Can you talk about the difficulties of recruiting during the season? I know recruiting's 24/7, but
Difficulties in
of recruiting during the actual season as opposed to the off season. I know you're always.
That's great. No, I think it's great. If you're at Ohio State, it's great to recruit during the season. Hey, this is Urban Meyer from Ohio State. That's kind of cool to. And did you see All Access? Did you see us play? Did you see Devin's catch? No, it's when you're not very good, it's hard to go recruit. So if you guys are playing well and there's some stuff to talk about, it's great. And nothing better than to call a kid during the season.
Do you naturally spend less hours on it than you would during another time of the year?
Naturally, but this is our time to call. We're not allowed to call at a time. So you're right. This is Wednesday, tonight, and tomorrow, and Sunday are the big nights. I mean, there's probably a couple hours, 2-3 hours a week that we spend devoted only to phone calls and recruiting.
Urban, you were just talking about the team. You said you were an average team right now. Is that stuff when you went back and watched film, practice this week, why is that your evaluation of your team?
Well, there's certain positions are average. Our offense line didn't play the way I'd expect. You don't knock it in from the 1 yard line. That's probably below average, but they were above average other times. So certainly not dominant right now. Linebacker play, and we didn't have enough pressure on the quarterback. So there's enough issues that I would probably expect more out of Ohio. I know there's some really cool things that happen, and Devin Smith and Braxton and John Simon's going to play hard and all that, but I expect some other guys to play a little better.
What did y'all get ironed out, you think, yesterday and maybe today about the short yardage thing, like you were talking about the? I mean, what was the focus, I guess?
Well, it was a tough practice yesterday. It was Tuesday, and Bloody Tuesday was awful. Plus, it was hot. I mean, it was a tough day. A lot of guys dehydrated, and so we had to hydrate them back. They came back, their body weights. I mean, some guys lost 8-9 pounds yesterday's practice. It was really hard. They came back today, and all their body weights, Coach Mick and Sarah and all of them doing a great job making sure they're hydrated. And we actually devoted 5 minutes to all fourth down for that reason, that we need to establish who we are. And it was a missed block by an offensive lineman. That's what happened.
But were you pleased by those 5 minutes? I mean, what you saw?
I have not watched the practice film. Yeah, I was pleased that I went over and chewed them out pretty good. I saw that it wasn't like it was right at the end of practice. Yeah. They were exhausted, and they knew why we were doing it. The good thing about these guys, they're smart guys. I mean, they get it. So that they knew why. There's no pushback, I guess is the term used nowadays, but they went as hard as they could.
I know you said you wouldn't talk about the division trophy at this point. Is that something that could help, though, maybe down the road?
Sure. I never heard that. I know we can't go to the game. They didn't change that, did they?
No.
Get a trophy, though.
Coach, Shelley Part 2 is going to run this weekend.
Shelley Part 2.
The sequel. Yes, sir. Do you get a lot of Buffett or Seinfeld during the season, or is it summer and then you're done?
I don't even know. We don't get the Seinfeld. That's our time together. We like to watch that. But we haven't set up our, I guess, DVR or TVR or whatever that stuff's called yet. That's a good question, though. I got to do that. That's our time to relax a little bit. What's that?
The man cave?
I don't have a man cave.
You don't?
No. Got to do that.
You stated on Monday how familiar you are with UCF. Obviously in Florida, the recruits, the big three, have no trouble getting them. But in a state like Florida, I mean, they're not hurting with the leftovers they're getting.
No, I think they're Big Ten talent. There's no question. There's people on that team at certain positions. They're as good or better than our positions. And I have John Cooper, who's a friend on, obviously, Ohio State guy. He works in the NFL. He consults for people, and every week I ask him who are their NFL players. And they have 5 or 6 NFL players on their roster. That tells you what we're getting ready to face. We better be ready. This is going to be a brawl.
Who on that side jumps out at you when you're talking about 5 or 6 guys? Might
There are
be
2 D
NFL?
tackles. Their
Yeah.
safety's a 4-year starter.
Yeah.
I want to say he's 18, but a fine player. Can play anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
Their quarterback and their big. I don't know if that back's going to play, but they have about 3 backs. One's a Miami transfer. But their D line is the thing that stands out to me.
Does it change your focus knowing Murray may not play? I'm talking about the back, the guy that had
I
100
have to
yards
ask
last
Coach
week.
Fickle more, but I kind of read and I asked them, and they think he's very good, but they think the guy behind is very good. They have 3 backs.
Yeah.
They have 3 backs that are very talented players.
You know, I don't mean to go
Is there
back, but
anything-
the fact that y'all can play for something. I mean, you know, everybody has to have something, don't they, to focus on or whatever you want to call it.
I think so.
Urban?
I think, I don't want to spend much more time on
Yeah.
it, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, that's I never heard that. I never even thought about it, and it's not going to make us play harder this Saturday. But I think somewhere at the point in November or something, yeah, I think that'll be interesting.
Urban, the cramps with Braxton on Saturday, is it anything going forward that you guys have to do?
We've addressed it, and we have people that's their job is full time. It was a thick day Saturday, and he ran. It was right in a row too, where he ran those big hits. So I hope he cramps up again. That means he's getting some yards. But we did it. To answer your question, we have addressed it.
Will you know a lot more about your linebackers after Saturday?
Yeah, they better. We're going to play a little bit. We were all nickel Saturday, so Curtis Grant really didn't play much. He's going to play more this week. So you'll see Sabino, Curtis Grant, Shazier, and behind them you're looking at some young players. So we got some depth issues, and those guys got to perform because it's coming right at them.
Braxton said that Are you able to say how you address Braxton's cramping, or is that something you're trying to keep in house?
Oh no. We just I don't know exactly what it's not medical staff, but our nutrition staff, and I know there's one way to handle cramping. That's hydrate, make sure he's hydrating during the week, and then obviously the 48 hours prior we call 48-hour rule. We're going to just address some things with those guys, with the guys that cramped, and he wasn't the only one. We have Fragel and Jake Stoneburner, guys that cramp a lot.
Braxton said that there were times during the game where he really felt like he wasn't a freshman anymore. All the work he's put in, you'd think that, but were there times as a coach when you kind of realize you're dealing with a much more mature player than you saw last year?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I wasn't here last year, but I can just compare him to March when we had him and January workouts, and yeah, much more mature player. His progression's been pretty positive.
When you told this team you needed it to be angry, you wanted an angry team, you said a lot of that was based on the fact all the negative stuff that had been said about them. When they go out there, and the first time on a Saturday in a long time, that they can feel good. Do you notice a different, I don't want to say swagger, but personality? Has anything changed with them, the way they've kind of come out this week? Anything different about them?
I haven't really focused on that. We're just trying to get ready to play a good team. The good thing is I don't see a team that we have to, hey guys, this is an important day. We don't. I think they know that. You're dealing with Ohio State football players, so. But we haven't, the swagger, the angry, and I think that message was for preseason camp and get going. Now we're playing a really good team. Let's go beat this team somehow.
Urban, for
Last question.
what Adam Griffin did for you guys in special teams last week.
Yeah, did great.
Can you imagine if your dad had won 2 Heisman trophies? Do you think it's ever tough for him? Do you think it's a great thing for him to be part of that legacy? Or?
Great question. Yeah, I think it's. You would think it's almost impossible until you get to know Archie and his wife, and then this young guy, and he was a workaholic in the off season. Spring ball, he didn't do great, and then he came out and just kind of got my face a little bit about getting on some special teams, and he did well. So I do think that's a great storyline to find out. But when you guys know Archie, not probably is better, but some of you might better than I do. But just what a class act, and I don't see him putting that pressure on his kid to be Archie Griffin.
I was going to say his teammates call him Arch, and he likes that. What does that tell you about him? I mean,
Well, it tells you something about his dad too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's he's Archie's son, but he's also got his own world. I can tell Archie not one time has ever asked me. He just lets him or his wife ask me to be about how he's doing. And just say I'll give him information. Say, boy, you'd be proud. He's a good dude because he is. He's a great kid. See you all.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.